development methodology. So let's approach now how we'll be building our system in terms of methodology. So one of the most important topics is regarding automated tests. So this is one of the most important rules when creating software and will be strongly applied in our system. The first word that comes up when you talk about automated test is TDD, or test-driven development. TDD basically states that all of your code must be written following a simple cycle. You write a test case, run it to see if it's failing. You write the code enough to make sure your test passes and nothing else. You run again your test to make sure it's not working. And you keep following the cycle. So, are we going to use TDD in our development? The answer is yes and no. In the beginning of our training, we will follow this rule strictly. But as our system is evolved, we will start to speed up some points that you'll be already familiar with. So you don't need to hear me saying the same thing over and over again. However, I can guarantee you that you'll be writing test code for pretty much of our system. So, what are the benefits of writing automated tests? You may have already heard that writing tests take almost the same time as writing the real code, if not more. And to be honest, that's true. But the benefits of having a suite of automated tests pay off by far. So some of the benefits are regression tests. If you don't have automated tests and you make any change in the code, how do you make sure that you didn't break the existing features? In most cases, you'd end up with a QA team retesting all the system, what is called regression tests. However, if you have a good suite of automated tests, you already have all your regression tests one click away from you. Do you change the code? Run your test suite and check that nothing has been broken. Simple like that. Refactor with confidence. Have you ever read some code that you wrote in the past, maybe last week or last month? Most of the times when you read some code, you always find something that can be improved. Remove some duplicated code, change some names, make the code more readable, etc. But how can you make these changes with confidence if you don't have automated tests? We'll be exploring this point a lot during this training. Every time we find some code to be improved, we'll do that without fear, and after the change, we'll just run our tests and we'll know that if they succeeded, we didn't break anything. Quality. Writing good tests will make the quality of your project skyrocket, without a doubt. The only thing to keep in mind here is that the quality of your system will depend on the quality of your tests. If you have a lot of tests that are not effectively stressing your system, they will not give you enough safety. Other point is that creating tests is an ongoing process. Every time someone finds a bug in your system, you should create a test to reproduce the problem, and only then fix it. With this approach, your test suite will be always improving. So, does it mean that creating automated tests will make my system bug-free? Of course not. Your tests will guarantee that your system is behaving like it's been tested, but that doesn't mean that your tests are testing the system in the way your customers expect it. So again, this is much related to the quality of your tests. What about the coding process? Let's briefly cover how we'll be coding our system in most of the cases, for each of the entities such as category, author, user, and so on. So we started by creating our repository layer with its JPA entities and writing unit tests. In this point, we'll be using an in-memory database and interact with it, guaranteeing that our entities are mapped correctly and that our services are behaving as expected. Then we will move to our services layer. In this point, we want to write all the business rules, such as validations and consistency checks. In order to write our unit tests, we'll be mocking our repository layer. And then you'll be working in the topmost layer, the REST services. Here, you'll test the formats of the requests and responses, parsers, and interactions with service layer. Again, we'll be using mock, this time to the service layer. And as the last part of our coding process, we'll be creating our integration tests. At this point, our application is pretty much ready, and we'll be checking that everything is fitting together in the application server without any kind of mock. And to finish, you manually create your real database, deploy your application, and run some manual tests. So this process will be applied for each feature of the system. So in each section of this training, you'll be focusing on one feature, and then we'll go through all of these phases for this feature. So we start with category, and then we'll go through all these phases for category, and the same for the other features. So that's the overview of the training that I'd like to provide you, and I really hope you are as excited as me to start coding and making everything that you've been talking to really happen in practice. I'll provide the code for all the lectures, but if you prefer, you can pause the videos and code along with me. That's really up to you. The important point is that you really engage in this journey and do not give up. I'm really looking forward to see you in the next videos. Bye!